Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at in the world. This is the Sports Bros podcast, episode 349. We've been doing this 349 times. And I'm going to try to do this thing because, as you see, there's only two of us today. Our fearless leader, the head of creative, Eddie Cool, he has stepped away for this week. Some unfortunate things outside of this podcasting world, but he will be back as soon as possible. We wish him the very best and all the things and whatnot. And how do they say it? Undisclosed situationals, whatnot. But we will have him back shortly, and we're gonna keep this thing rolling because the sports world never stops. There's always something going on in the world today. With that being said, this be your boy, the Almighty Be Live, 1/3 of the Sports Bros podcast. And as you already heard, what's happening, what's going on in the world today. We got some things that we're going to talk about. I'm not even going to delay any longer. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the other guy, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Now, don't be sad. Don't be sad. Because 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, man. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Scotty D, is good to have you, brother. And no doubt. But yeah,
I think Eddie Cool. We'll go ahead and say what happened. He has a bunion. You can't get to the phone.
He's got a bunion.
You got a bunion on his toe.
Man. When I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when we get up to this age, you got to take care of your feet. You got to. My doctor tells me all the time, check your feet.
Have you had a gout flare up yet? Have you ever had gout?
See, here's the thing. I probably have, but I don't know exactly.
Oh, you would know it if you did. You would know.
I mean, I get
unmistakable. Unmistakable.
Well, I get a couple times where it's like a little sharp pain in my foot, just a little bit of tightness, but I don't know.
That's probably from having a couple daddy sodas and bumping into something you don't remember.
I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. How do you? We're talking about gout. Good Lord, we need more sports.
That's what happens when the biggest thing of the weekend is a soccer game. That's what happens. You start talking about gout.
You started talking about gout. We can talk about.
This is for you. This is for you.
Wow. What we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about. But hey, let's do it how we do things. Let's go ahead and jump into it. The top of the order.
All right, let's get this thing here.
Oh man, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and Scotty D just issued me a red card, so I guess I'm off the show too. And he's gonna do this solo dolo, and with him doing it solo dolo, I'll introduce the next part of it.
That means I can tell you all the reasons uninterrupted about why that was a terrible sport that concluded on Sunday. I have the whole show to myself to let all that out.
You do not, because FIFA can always change the rules and not issue suspensions.
Reason number one, the goalie wears a different color shirt than the rest of the team.
Okay.
Reason number two, the clock goes the wrong way. Reason number three, you play all day and don't score. You go into overtime. You get a halftime of that overtime. And then when somebody scores, it's still not over because they don't have sudden death. And then you keep playing, and then it's over. But it's not over. Then you get 5 extra minutes.
Okay.
Another reason, the red card. And you took an exception to this, but in hockey, you get a penalty. In football, you get a flag. In baseball, you just get thrown out of the game altogether. But you still get 9 guys. You still get to play with the whole team. Just what that player's not allowed back. But in soccer, you get a card. You get a card, and then the whole team has to play shorthanded the rest of the way. And the next game, you're not allowed to play with because you got a card.
Yeah, okay.
Not a flag, not a whistle, not a box. Don't get put in a box. You get a card.
Okay. Are you done?
I mean, I thought I was doing the whole show myself.
You're not.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Tell
All
me,
right.
tell me why that 1-0 game was so exciting.
Well, here is and the thing about this. I'm not going to debate with you as to why I find a sport exciting that you don't, because that's actually a choice that we get. I think what makes soccer so intriguing is because it's low score. So every moment that's on the pitch
There's
is
another reason they play on a
on the
pitch
pitch.
instead of a field.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
The world does not revolve around the United States of America. It's an entire world out there. But if I could be allowed to continue.
Please.
The reason why soccer is so exciting is because this was the biggest game in the world. This is the World Cup final. Any moment of time, the game can change. One kick, one movement, one foul, one penalty, the whole atmosphere can change on the flip of a dime. That's why there's no dull moments. Yes, you may not get all the scores and everything, but you get those edge of the seat moments all the time. You get those set pieces, you get those corner kicks that I mean, literally inches away from scoring.
But they
Those are,
don't. But they don't. They never do.
but the thing about it is, at those times when you come close to scoring, doesn't the hair on your arm stand up a little bit? I'm not asking you
I
this.
watched from 85 minutes on.
And so and here's the thing.
And I watched 3 goals and they took 2 of them away.
Gotta be on.
And then Argentina didn't even get a goal shot until the 106th minute. They had 0 shots on goal. That's not exciting. You can't tell me that was an exciting game. You just can't.
That's defense. That's one
That
of those
doesn't
things.
mean it's exciting. It just meant Spain played good defense. If you
That's
watch an NFL game and the score is 6-3, you say, man, they played really good defense. But you would also probably say that wasn't a very good game to watch. That was a boring game.
And here's the thing. I absolutely understand that it's the dynamic of the games. Yes, most sports that we watch are predicated on high scores. That's what makes those sports exciting. Here's the thing, and this is I'm leveling with you. I get it. 1-0 may not be the most exciting game, especially when one team does not put a shot on goal. That's crazy to me that the second best team in the world cannot put a shot on goal. That is definitely that's an anomaly. That was an insane stat line where because the Argentinian goalie set the record. It's a new record now for most saves. He was getting shot at after shot, and made a lot of incredible saves. Those are the type of nuances when it comes to soccer that makes it exciting. Not because actually a lot of times when it comes to soccer, if the score is too high, it's usually sloppy. The soccer is predicated on great defense and saves on top of those moments where you get that beautiful set piece and those shots on goal that go hit the net. That's what makes soccer exciting on that aspect. Other sports, basketball, you absolutely need scoring. Baseball, you need scoring. Hockey, you not necessarily need scoring because you get a lot of hits. It's one of those things. Those are certain parts. Those are the nuances of those particular sports that make each one of those exciting. Basketball, you have to have scoring. Baseball, baseball you can have a lot of great plays, catches, but usually if you have a very low scoring baseball game, yeah, it's pretty bad to watch. Football, sometimes you don't necessarily need to score because you get those big hits, you get the interception, great defense. But yes, football, is somewhat predicated on scoring too. Soccer, yes, we like to see a few goals, but usually high-scoring soccer matches are sloppy. That means there's no defense being played.
You know what else they are? Interesting.
That, again, perspective. That you're not catching the nuance of the sport. You can see other sports that you enjoy, and you catch the nuance.
I enjoy almost every sport. I enjoy a lot of sports.
That's the thing about this is that it
This
does.
one's too hard to watch, man.
That's for you. I get it. I get it. For a lot of people, golf is hard to watch.
I understand that, but you know what's crazy is I don't get mad when people tell me that golf is
I'm
boring.
not. The thing about this, I'm not getting mad.
I'm not talking about you specifically.
Okay,
soccer fans in general. You say, I don't like that sport. That sport's sport. What do you mean? You don't get it. You don't understand. You don't know the rules. You don't appreciate the game. No, I don't. I don't because it's boring. But if you tell me golf's boring, I don't fly off the handle. I'm like, all right, well, go watch soccer then. I don't care. People tell me baseball is boring all the time. I can find something to watch in a 10-0 baseball game that's going to be interesting. Whether it's going to be the choice of pitcher or the pitcher strategy or what the base run is. Even in a blowout game, I still find those things to watch. But in soccer, there is not. You don't have stats.
You just described exactly why people like soccer. Just like
that's every game. That's every game is like that. You have to find something in every game because there's nobody scoring.
But the thing about it is the way you just described that baseball game, you find nuance in the pitcher. You find nuance in that's
because he might strike somebody out. What stat you get in soccer?
Assists.
Not tackles, if nobody scores.
But tackles, saves,
shots 30 feet over the net that everyone thought was going.
That same. It's crazy. You actually just spoke the parallels, but you don't see it. That's
not parallel.
That's because you are being stubborn. That's all.
Because they're not. It's because they're not parallel.
You are being stubborn. Stop being stubborn.
And you're telling me that this 1-0 game was exciting to watch. I'm telling you, a 1-0 baseball game in which I love it isn't really that exciting to watch. I can tell you that. A 6-3 football game is not exciting as if the score was like 32-29.
Now watch this. I got you. Remember that 14-3 Super Bowl? Was it the Patriots versus the Rams?
Yeah, it was a drag.
It was a drag, absolutely. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it was the Super Bowl. So guess what we did? We watched and we found things that
nachos. We found nachos and pizza. Some dogs by our time because we were watching an egg get laid by the Rams.
But we still watched and we talked about it. It's the same thing here. Yes, there were more excited.
If the score of the Super Bowl was 32-29, it'd be a lot more exciting.
That's it. First of all, I don't like the fact
I just pulled a random score out.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you. You know what?
I don't know the scores of all the Super Bowls. I just picked a random score.
No, that wasn't a random score. Oh Lord, you know what? I
don't know what you're taking personally there.
You Scotty D. That was a random score.
I just picked a high scoring score out.
See, these are the moments where I need Eddie Cool because you know what you're doing. You know that 32-29 is a sore spot in my life.
Know that.
Why
I just picked a random high score. That's all.
32-29.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 38. The Patriots versus the Panthers.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh, you dirty. You knew that. You Scotty, you were one of the most studied people I know. You will sit here and act like you don't do this stuff on purpose.
I didn't do that on purpose. I just picked a random number and it happened to be. I apologize.
I don't accept your apology because I don't believe you. You are a dirty human being and you live just to drive me insane.
Congratulations, Spain. Congratulations. They did win. And now Lionel may have played his last game and he's emotional and all that. I know he's a legend and I appreciate him being a stud of the sport, all that stuff. So that was it for him, and it's been a great career.
And I would like to say this, um, because again, Argentina was that close to being repeat. Like Messi will go down as one of the greatest to ever played the sport, and it was one of those things where like Spain had a strategy that just pretty much just shut down Argentina. Argentina wasn't comfortable with the ball. It was, and this is like I said, when me watching, and I won't sit here and say that I'm a soccer expert. I have a ways to go to learn more about the strategy that comes behind the sport, the different formations and stuff like that. I still don't know those type of things to call myself a soccer expert by no means. I am a soccer fanatic. I'm headed to Nashville this weekend for my for Liverpool coming over to the States playing Sunderland
Oh, no.
in an exhibition. And yes, I'm going to watch a soccer match this weekend. Yes,
A
I am.
friendly? Are you going to a
I
friendly?
am going to a
There's another
friendly,
reason
and there's going to be
because it's called friendly.
there's going to be 30,000 people there, and we're going to be screaming and singing and all the different chants and everything. I don't even know half the people on Liverpool right now because unfortunately our best players played in the World Cup, so they're on a mandatory 3 week break. Like Alexis McAllister, he plays for Argentina. So after Sunday, he has a mandatory 3 week break. So he won't be playing their friendlies. What happened?
I'm just tapping out.
Okay. All right.
I can't take anymore.
I understand.
That's the longest conversation I've ever had about soccer anywhere.
I understand it. I will allow you, sir, to talk about the sport that you love. I also like it too, but I just didn't get a chance to watch round 4 of the British Open. Was it Royal Birksdale?
Yeah, man, that one didn't go as that was not the most exciting one either. I mean, it was, and I would say that it wasn't exciting because um, Ryan Fox won and he's not in it. But it was well done. He played great, and the weather conditions early in the tournament allowed for a lot of really like almost record-setting scores. I think 3 scores of 62 on a ride. I think one of which was Ryan Fox actually. And then the wind picked up on the last day, and nobody was really making moves. And Sandburns had a shot going in. He got all the way to 11 under and came up 1 stroke short, actually 2 short. I think he ended up 8 under. And like Cameron Young led in the clubhouse for a long time. When he went to the clubhouse at 9 under par, a lot of other golfers were still out there, and just nobody could score. Nobody could make any moves. And, the DeChambeau blew up on Sunday. I had a terrible. I'm actually glad that he didn't lose by 1 shot because of the controversial Thursday call of him giving him a 2-stroke penalty, which, I've watched it a couple times back and forth. I think the letter of the law said it was the right call. I get him being upset and all that, but he just poor reaction to it. I think saying I'm not sure if I'm going to play tomorrow and all that stuff, and flailing on the arms and all that stuff. And I get it. He was emotional because he just played a really good round. Then all of a sudden, somebody came and told him he was 2 shots worse. It's a weird thing. He stepped on that bush a couple times. Whether it was going to be in his backswing or not, whether he did it on purpose or not, who's to say?
I got a question for that, and because the people, I know your disdain for the big goof. Do we, as fans, do we look at that like the humanity side of it, where we do get emotional during sporting events, or do we look at the professional side of it? Like you are a professional, you do this for a living. You should have a little bit more composure. What is your take on
it? Yeah, I think I mean, like I said, I think I understand why he was getting amped up the way he did. I get it. golf is like the one sport though that, like golf and tennis, really, where they ask you really to contain your emotions, and that's that considered out of line. That wouldn't be out of line in a baseball game or a football game, the way he was acting. So it's exaggerated. It's over exaggerated in golf, I think. Um, I'm not his biggest fan, but I thought he came back from it well the next day, played to the crowd, made jokes about it when the next time his ball, he addressed a ball that was in some higher grass. I think this is going to be a case of much ado about nothing, really. I mean, he was upset, and I rightfully so, because he just shot the lights out, and then someone said, "Well, yeah." I mean, he didn't find out about this immediately. This was hours later. I think that would irk me some too. Not the fact that nobody said, "Hey, man, we need to look at what you just did." That didn't happen. It was later, and I don't know if it was a camera, because sometimes spectators will call in and say, "Look at what happened on this hole," and people have been assessed penalties based on that, based on people watching at home. That wouldn't be unprecedented. I don't know how they figured this out, but I would have wanted to know that if I was him. I'd be like, well, who told you that exactly?
Who snitched? Who
Yeah, I
snitched?
mean, how exactly did we come to the conclusion hours later that what I did was wrong? I think his biggest argument was that the angle he was going to hit the ball wouldn't have been affected by the high grass, but I don't know. But
I got.
nonetheless, I personally was glad that wasn't a determining outcome in the final major of the year. I'm glad that it didn't work out that way. And congratulations to this Fox guy. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's never, I think his highest major finish was like 16th or something before it at some point. He's not a guy who's lurking around the leaderboard week in and week out. But when he got to the final hole, he was like a bull in a china shop. He was so amped up. He's like walking around. He's walking around the tee box and he couldn't wait. It was almost like he knew, I'm going to go finish this. This is like the chance of a lifetime. So good for him. Good for a guy like that. You know, that may never come up again for him. And when he had his shot, he went in for it and got. So all good for that. It's more exciting as a spectator whenever it would have been a Sam Burns, or if Scheffler would have made that charge and won. And I know people probably would be tired of seeing him win again, but that would have been quite a story, because he was coming from behind and came up just two shots behind, one short of Cameron Young, like I said, who was leading at the time. Or I would have been happy to see Cameron Young win, which would have been an odd way to win, finishing so far ahead of the rest of the field. But is what it is, and congratulations to that dude. I think he's from New Zealand.
But I think that's what that flag looks like. So Scotty D, I got a couple of questions because this is my chance to be a troll on the sport that you thoroughly enjoy. Now, if it was a football game and the camera saw that one player was offsides during a field goal attempt that a team missed, and hours later they were awarded their field goal and 3 points, and that changed the game result, how would you feel?
Get to the root of what you're asking me here, because I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
You mentioned about how ridiculous playing a man down is in soccer.
Yeah.
Getting a 2-stroke penalty over a blade of grass hours later. Wouldn't you call that equally as ridiculous?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like I said, I would be mad about that. Yeah.
Every sport has those type of things. We could argue that about every single sport. There are ridiculous things in every sport.
Oh, and golf, of all things, has tons of rules, tons of ridiculous rules. I mean,
and basketball just refuses to actually follow the rules. Like,
yeah,
like this. But I don't know. I just felt, I was like, when you were describing the penalty there, I'm like, well, that is a ridiculous penalty, and to be punished 2 strokes way after the fact. Yeah, I'd be upset
but it should have been something, I think, and I think officials walk the holes with. I mean, there should have been somebody that could have acknowledged that and say, "Hey, look, man, like his ball had to be found. He actually hit a provisional. his ball had to go be found. I don't know why somebody else wasn't in there, like an official would have been in there with him, because if he walks in there and doesn't see it and he kicks it, then that would have been a penalty. For you can't touch the ball, you can't alter the area around it. And so somebody at that time, if they would have been over there with him, should have been able to say, "Oh, this might be in your backswing. You can't do that. You can't step on it." He stepped on it right away, like a couple times.
It's one of those things that even in golf like that, that wouldn't be a penalty if there weren't cameras around.
Well, yeah, because you have to call it on yourself in a lot of instances, but
right.
Yeah, it's kind of
golf is pretty good about
in this case, though. Yeah, they are, and I've seen guys call penalties on themselves that cameras didn't detect, or a ball just barely moved or something. But in this case, this is something that could have affected the shot, because he may not have been able to take a full backswing. If you go back several years, and I believe it was a U.S. Open, where Dustin Johnson had a stroke penalty because he was addressing it. He was standing behind the ball, and his club touched the ground. And it was an area that people had been walking on all week and trampled on. And it was actually a fairway bunker that he didn't even know it was a fairway bunker. If you're in a bunker, you can't ground the club. You can't touch the club to the ground, or it's a penalty. And he did that, and it was something that had absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with the shot. That's a dumb rule in golf, I think. I mean, if it's something that affects the shot, okay, but that had nothing to do with it at all. And I don't know how to change the rules of golf to make it fair for everybody,
right.
Especially a hacker like me, when I'm going out there and I'm kicking the ball out of a fairway divot to give myself a better shot because I'm just trying to break 100.
Right. Oh man, but the nuance of sport, and we love every bit of it, and we're always going to have this banter. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick, wish to say commercial break where we'd actually make money, but we're going to take a break. Come back.
Sponsors yet? Maybe that's where Eddie's out. Eddie's out pounding the pavement to try to get us some sponsorship deals, and so maybe he'll bag Nike or somebody like that. Come back next week, we'll be good to go.
Nike can't get the Gamecocks colors right. 6 to 8, don't you dare go away. More to the Sports Bros podcast coming back.
British Knights. I'll take British Knights at this
in just a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. And last week we decided we've been doing this thing called the Sports Bros Draft the past few weeks where we do a draft style selection of different topics. And this past week, we did a draft for the ultimate all time head coaches in the four major sports: Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, and the National Hockey League. And it went as follows: where and we do a blind ballot type situation. So takes away some of the bias because some people like Scott a little bit more than they like me. Some people don't even know who I am. Some people like Eddie. I'm just the man behind the scenes, even though you see my face on here, whatever. I don't know. This is what we do. But as it went this past week, greatest coaches. Team A was Bill Belichick, Greg Popovich, Al Arbor, Eric Spoelstra, and Chuck Noll. Team B was Red Auerbach, Bobby Cox, Bill Parcells, Steve Kerr, and Bill Cowher. Team C was Phil Jackson, Scotty Bowman, Bill Walsh, Jimmy Johnson, Pat Riley. And now for the reveal, Eddie Cool was Team A, B Live, the Almighty B Live was Team B, and the Money Man Scotty D was Team C. And we asked the people who they thought was the better team. And it went as follows. We had a lot of polls, so there was probably a few things. Scotty D, if you can help me with some that I missed. But I'm gonna start off with Lanice Angelina Dell. She went with Team C. She went with the money man Scotty D. Brenda Johnson, she went with B and she says, and you know why? Referring to me because she is a diehard Atlanta Braves fan. So Bobby Cox was the automatic seller for her. I'll just let you know that. Bobby Cox, all she saw was Bobby Cox. Team B was her for the win. Mike Clarity, he says Team C all days. So that's two for Team T. Team C. The best name in the game, JoJo Comfort, says I'm a little torn between A and C, but I'd give the nod to C. They share a lot of great characteristics with A, but their ability to know when to let their leaders do their thing is a chicken dinner winner for me. Eric Vogel comes in. He says, C. All right. Trey Dizzle, Trey Duke comes in and says Team B wins this automatically because it has Bill Parcells. He would run circles around every coach on this list in any sport he coached. So he is a big Bill Parcells guy. Sean Machusko, he says C is the best and not close. The first two alone might beat the other groups in championships. It could be the best coaches in the sports. LOL at Jimmy Johnson. He's like an ugly duckling on this list of coaches. Wow. All right. A, strongest NFL grouping, so will be a Yinzer favorite. And then B, clearly at the end. Cox and Kyle both with long careers but little hardware. So he was sold on the amount of championships that C has. Braden King comes in and says, you can't tell me A isn't the best. Nate Rigotti, he says A, had to think about C, but A. Scott Jack, he says, I'll take any. And you know what, Scott Jack? You know what that gets you when you take any and you don't actually answer the question? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce Scott Jack to the penalty box. Make a choice. Can't be Switzerland in this. You got to make a choice. Scott Jack, penalty box. Or Scotty D, where your red card at? Scott Jack, red card. You're out of here. All right. Jason Van Kirk. He says Team A all day. And Brett Gambita comes in with A as well. Sky D, do you notice any that I missed, or do you have a different list?
I can't even get on Facebook right now, so I don't know.
I think this came from you once again. Your handwritten list gets more responses than my. Like I spend a lot of time on these graphics, people. what are we doing? And he comes up with a handwritten list. But hey, what works works. But hey, so from what I gather, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 for A and 2 for B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. No. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11, 5, 4, and 2. That's 11. Yeah. So Team C, the money man, Scotty D, consists of Phil Jackson, Scotty Bowman, Bill Walsh, Jimmy Johnson, and Pat Riley for the win.
They
Eddie
did?
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Eddie,
I thought his team won.
by my tally, it was more for C than it was for A. It was close.
I actually thought I was going to be hurt on my list not having Cower and Chuck Knoll, and a lot of the people that are on my page are Western Pennsylvania people. I thought
Right.
that would there be a little bit more of a bias for that. So, but every team was good. I mean, every team I thought was really good that we selected. They were pretty evened out.
I was trying to tap into that Western Pennsylvania fan base that you got when I picked Bill Cowher.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sneak him in there just to see. But yeah, what one of the comments that came in about mine was that, but Bobby Cox, Bill Cowher had long storied careers, but the hardware they don't like Bill Cowher won, Bobby Cox won, so that sort of it hurt my list a little bit because it was one of those things when I go back and I look at the graph when I'm putting together the graphs and everything. I was like, I even said it in the group chat. I was like, man, say I'm already looking at you guys' list. I'm like, I am not going to win this at all. This is
well, next week when Eddie's back, we're going to draft current NFL quarterbacks. Kind of a mini fantasy football thing. This is going to be quarterbacks only. We'll pick a combined total of 15. Somehow we'll rate the 15 best amongst the three of us. And that'll give us a draft for next week. So this week we won't have anything out there, but next week when Eddie comes back, we'll do the quarterbacks draft. But in the meantime, let's you and I take a look at that list.
I'm here for it.
ESPN released a list of the 10 best. Well, they did it for pretty much all positions, but the quarterback list was the most intriguing one. Obviously, it's the biggest position in sports, pretty much.
Got it, got it.
Want me to read them off?
And that's what what I wanted to read is how they who's voting.
Right. Yeah. It was from
ESPN
scouts
survey
and
league executive coaches and scouts.
yeah,
Okay.
executives, coaches, and scouts. Yeah, this isn't the. I think at the end of the summer, you usually get one that ranks the top. It's not by position, top 100 players in the league, as voted on by the players themselves.
Yeah, that's currently going on, and they're doing a reveal. I think they're like in the 40s or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And they space it out in that fashion. Let's see if I can.
But this one that ESPN released, as you said, was ranked by scouts, executives, and coaches.
Yeah, the NFL they just released numbers 60 through 57.
Okay, so they're kind
that's
of
that's
inching their way towards it to spread it all the way out until through training camps.
Yeah,
all right,
let's talk about it. Yeah.
Here's how ESPN ranked the quarterbacks. Number 1 was Josh Allen. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Matthew Stafford. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. 6 was Dak. 7 was Justin Herbert. 8 was Drake May. 9 was Jared Goff. And 10 was Caleb Williams. And then they listed honorable mentions, and they didn't number them, but this was the order that I would guess was going 11 through 17 was Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, and Jalen Hurts was a 17. Then they also threw in also receiving coach Daniel Jones, Bo Nix, CJ Stroud. So that was the list that of rankings. I think 1 and 2, Allen and Mahomes are interchangeable. I would rank those as the top. Well, I actually probably would have Joe Burrow at the top, in the top near. I still think Mahomes has got to be number one. I know they had the Chiefs were down a little bit last season. He was injured. I still think he's got to be number one. But if you're going to tell me it's between him and Josh Allen, okay, I'm not going to argue too much. I would personally throw Joe Burrow in there. For my liking, I think Josh Allen runs a little bit too much. I think he's too much of a runner. I don't want my quarterback running as often as he does and taking hits, and because I think eventually that leads to getting hurt. And that's always been my biggest issue with Lamar Jackson, who is at 5, that he runs a little bit too much, and he's had some wear and tear the last few years of his career. What do you see in there as someone who's overranked, underranked? What do you look at that list?
I'm starting to look at a list like this, and I'm starting to think that we're maybe this is a what's the best way to put it? For the longest time, we've always had clear cut, like your top 3 quarterbacks, and then everybody else just sort of fell into this. I think what we're running into now is that there's no clear cut number 1 anymore. Clear cut number 2. It's like I think you
Okay,
could.
let me ask you this:
Okay.
would you agree? Because this is my opinion that the top 5 that they have ranked are definitely the top 5.
I'm looking at it, and then when you get
Allen
past 5,
Mahomes, Allen Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow, and Lamar. I gotta say
yeah,
that's the top 5.
yeah, yeah, I don't see anybody in the rest of this list that could really scratch the surface. Um, yeah, I'm with you on that. Nobody in like, and I feel like this might sound weird, but we're not seeing the 5,000 passing yards and 45 touchdowns anymore from quarterbacks though. That I feel like that's we've like, and I don't know what you attribute that change where like, I mean, we've is it because we have more mobile quarterbacks?
That's what I would say.
Because that's
Because if you look at Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, those 3 are all guys that will run. They don't just stand back and pat. They're all athletic, so they all will run.
right.
Stafford, not so much. Burrow is more, I think, of a scrambler, like he's mobile but doesn't run as much. If that makes sense, I don't think he's going to tuck it away and go as willingly as those other 3 that we mentioned.
I think also just to throw this out here as well is that because what we've also done in NFL, and I might actually do a little research about that because I want to look into it a little bit more, is that because most teams are going a 2 running back system, we don't have the heavy running back stats, individual stats, but maybe we have more of the team running stats. Like the teams are running.
Possibly.
So I wonder because of that, that lowers the passing totals, raises the rushing totals, but we don't see the big individual stat lines because they're running 2 running back systems in most places. I just want to. I'm going to go and look at how many like average rushing yards this season, last season, as opposed to 10 years ago, and see if there is a comparison there. So, and the reason why I say that is because I'm looking at the top 5, and yes, they are the top 5, and then I'm looking at the next 10 below them, and like it's not even stellar. It's like mediocre play. Like Dak
Well,
Prescott is
if
number
you look
6.
at if you look at probably the top 10 to 15 quarterbacks from a decade or 15 years ago, it's way better list than this current one, I think.
That's what
Here you got Dak at 6. This is a guy who can't win playoff games. He's 6. He's had some good numbers, but who in his top 10 would you bump out of the top 10, and who would you move up?
I I would definitely give Baker Mayfield more love. I think I think Jalen Hurts deserves more love.
How about Jalen Hurts? They have him way down. Like I said, if this is truly a list, he'd be at 17, and this guy won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are so like against him. Like he's a mobile, agile quarterback that can make the big time throws. He like again 2 years ago won the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
yet people just do not see him as an elite quarterback. I don't understand it. I do not get it. Like
And yet Justin Herbert, every year we're waiting for him to fulfill this potential because he looks like a stud. He's 7. He doesn't win playoff games either.
at all.
6 and 7 don't win playoff games. Dak and Herbert, they have been very futile in the postseason, and yet Jalen Hurts is at 17. Here's who I would move up from 9 to 6 would be Jared Goff. And Jared Goff is very unspectacular. But listen to this. Since he's been with the Lions, okay, well, he was traded from the Rams to the Lions. In 2021, he goes to the Lions. He throws 19 touchdowns to 8 picks. Since then, it's been 29 touchdowns, 7 picks, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks, 37, 12. And then last year, 34 touchdowns, 8 picks. So his touchdown to interception ratio has been outstanding. I know he's not the most spectacular. He doesn't throw like the beautiful deep ball that you get from like a Mahomes, but his teams have been winning. I thought that when they made that trade, he was going off to Detroit purgatory and he was going to be a placeholder till they drafted their next quarterback. And the dude's been to the Pro Bowl 3 out of 5 years.
Right.
Been to the NFC Championship game. So I don't know why we don't give him a little bit more love. I guess because he's, like I said, unspectacular, but he's very competitive. He's as good as anybody else, from 6 down. And I think I would move Caleb Williams up a little bit. He proved a lot to me last year. I thought he was better than expected. You could see his improvement. I would move Drake May out. I know that he had a decent year last year, but his one good season, I think the Patriots run should be credited more to Vrabel, the coaching staff, than Drake May. And they brought him along. He played well. I'm not saying he did, but I would give more credit to Sam Darnold's last 2 years and move him into the top 10. I'd move Herbert and May out. And I'd probably leapfrog maybe even Brock Purdy. He's another guy that doesn't get a lot of love because he's not always spectacular, but it just goes to show you, like I said, I don't think the state of the NFL quarterback is – this ain't the best era, if you ask me right now.
And it's and that was, I was looking at this, I was like, I keep looking at these names, and I'm like, I want to where's the other big names? It's like, this is
Trevor Lawrence down. I mean, he's not really broken through yet, and by now we thought he should have.
Finally you saw inklings of what he's capable of this past year with Liam Cole. Yeah, and so
if you squint hard enough, you might see the number 1 quarterback overall, but he hasn't jumped off the page since he was drafted.
And I will forever and always blame Urban Meyer. Always. I will forever. Urban Meyer is dead to me for what he did to, like, just, I'm sorry, I'm personal. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is our quarterback preview of what we're going to do next week when we actually decide to pick these guys and put together a squad of 5 quarterbacks that we want to have on our team when we do the SportsBros draft. With that being said, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to finish this thing off in style, the way we like to do it. Grab the bat. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Runner in scoring position, down 1. Can you send them home? Can you walk it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the walk-off shot. Coming up next here at the SportsBros podcast.
And a walk-off home run.
Okay, boys, time to wrap it up. Let's go home with the walk-off shot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the walk-off shot. One hitter, quitter. Let's send them home, walk them off style. Scotty D, what you got?
Well, I don't have the information from it. I can't, but there was something I came across this past week regarding the beautiful game and the impact it had here in the United States. And a lot of people were talking about how how great an experience it was to have all these teams come and play in all these American stadiums. And suddenly you start hearing from the football players. Did you hear about this? The,
Hold on. Scotty D, we can't have the same
the
walk-off.
football players want grass.
We can't have the same walk-off.
Let's walking off together.
Let's walk off together. Doggone it.
Let's just kick this around because I've been on the natural grass turf thing for a long time.
And I got the statistics for you. 92% of the players want natural grass. 6% of the players didn't vote. Only 2% of the players were fine with synthetic turf. 92% of the league wants natural grass. And guess what, you stadiums? You just showed us that you're perfectly capable of installing natural grass. And for an extended
it's going to be
period
hard
of time.
now to fight that fight. You would think in the next labor contract that could come up.
It has to. It's unreal to me. This is one of those things. You have the money. So I had this conversation the other day with someone. 30. I think he's either 29 or 30 of the 32 NFL owners are billionaires. Make it happen. And don't charge us extra for the games. You have the money. NFL, you have the money. Stadiums have the money. It's not that hard. The technology is there. I don't get it. I just don't understand why it's so hard. I don't understand it. I get that these stadiums are multi-venue. Well, I get that you have all types of different activities. Then just like I said, the technology is there where you can install it, uninstall it, move it, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it's called work. Invest. You talk about player safety all the time. This is where you put your money where your mouth is. This is player safety. Give us the grass fields. The players want it. The people want it. Only people that don't want it are extremely wealthy owners. That's it. Roger Goodell, listen to the people. I just don't know. We're having technical difficulties with my man Scotty D. I'm not sure what happened, but basically, with that being said, we had the same walk-off shot, and let me do this. He said, "Let me try this out." Uh-oh.
Yep.
Speak. Yep, there.
Yeah, one of us had a bad signal there for a couple of minutes. I was completely frozen.
Okay, but yeah, basically what I stated to the people, the owners have the money, the players want it,
Yeah,
the people want it.
it can be done now, so let's do it.
Just give us the grass. Give us the grass. Like you have 9 zeros. You have 3 commas in your bank account.
Let's do it.
Just it's not gonna hurt that much.
Football belongs on grass as it is, so let's get it done.
Simple, easy.
And while we're on topic of football, shout out to the Titans. They're going to induct Chris Johnson into their Ring of Honor this season. I think opening day, which why wait? You don't want to wait. Don't want to be late. So let's
ALS.
go.
Such
Yep.
an ugly disease.
All the best to Chris Johnson and Good on the Titans for being proactive on this, because he was a impact player, 2,000-yard rusher, very rare. A 2,000-yard a season rusher comes along. He was one of those. Maybe now that we got an extra game, but this was during the 16-game season he did it. So
that part.
yeah. All right, Be Live. I had enough of you.
Yeah.
You're welcome for me educating you today and bringing you along.
One of these days, you're gonna enjoy the world sport of soccer. One day,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give up on you, sir. I will not.
Okay.
With that being said, and in closing, do something nice for yourself and do something nice for other people, and all the things that Eddie Cool would normally say. Sick stay, don't you dare go away, and some other things. Be live, say something to the people. Yes, sir. Football, soccer, world sport. Now all we have left is baseball and WNBA. Training camp coming soon. NFL. Please come back. College football. Yeah. Mm-hmm.